There we go. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let me pull up this recording. If you want to go around while I'm pulling up the recording, I would love, I've got quite a few people here who are joining us today. I'd love if you could just briefly introduce yourself while I pull up our slides and we can get going. So who would like to start first? How about Jackie? How about you?
Hi, I'm Jackie Montmelin, and I'm super excited about this topic because I'm a health and wellness coach and I operate on a shoestring budget with my marketing. So, yay.
I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much. Who would like to go next?
I'm Nisa.
Hi, Nisa.
I have a little yoga studio. I'm volunteer coordinator and also a wellness coach. So I got a few
Awesome.
things going and would love to learn more about marketing.
Awesome. Glad you're here.
Hi everyone, I'm Chili Pena, and I too am not having a good time with Zoom. So I'm trying to actually log into my account, so all my settings are what they're supposed to be. But I am very excited to hear about marketing on a shoestring budget. I work for the Spinal Decompression and Chiropractic Center, and one of my main jobs is marketing. And I like to do things. As frugally as possible. So,
Mhm.
regardless of the budget size, I'd like to make the best use of it. So, I'm very excited to hear about this.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Chili. And
Hi.
Renee? Go ahead,
Yeah.
Renee. Yep.
Hi, I'm Renee. I'm kind of slipping in here under the wire with a bunch of other stuff to do. So I'm gonna have my camera off, but I will be
No
listening.
problem. No
Um,
problem.
I am a licensed massage therapist also in Denton. I operate out of Shambhala Wellness, which is right across university from TWU. So I'm very excited to be taking advantage of their programming for entrepreneurs. And I know that's where you and I met a
Yes,
couple of
met
weeks
you there.
ago.
Yeah, recently. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was great. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a massage therapist, solopreneur. My specialty is I work with trauma survivors and am kind of developing my own thing. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much. And there's one more. There's Taylor. Taylor, you can introduce yourself if you want, but I know she's usually on mute. She is our marketing and social media and events coordinator at Soma. If you've called for an appointment, you probably have spoken with her at the front desk. So Taylor, feel free to jump on if you want to introduce yourself. We'll give you a second. Or not. That's okay. We're going to move on. That's fine. So I'm really glad you all are here. My name is Amber Briggle. I'm the founder and CEO of Soma Massage Therapy located here in Denton. Um, I've started a series of webinars because I grew this business literally with my two bare hands from nothing into a business that now grosses over $1 million a year, and we're looking to franchise coast to coast. Now, full disclosure, I didn't go to school for business. I think a lot of business owners and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs similarly didn't go to school for business. They had a passion and an idea and ran with it. And so I don't have a business degree, but I do have 20 years plus of being a massage therapist and over a decade of being a business owner and now a CEO. And so I'd love to be able to kind of take the knowledge that I've gleaned over the years, a lot of mistakes along the way, but a lot of triumphs too. And I want to be able to share that with my community so that I can kind of pay it forward because so many people were so generous with me as I continue to build my business. I want to be able to pay that forward. So that's kind of how this all started. So today we're going to be talking about how to do marketing on a shoestring budget. You don't have to have big dollars to make a big impact. This is part of our Here to Help series. This is the third one. So on our first one, we talked about finding your target market. Like who is it that you're trying to get on, in my case, in my studio on my massage table. In Jackie's case, who is it that, that you're trying to attract to your wellness coaching, and Nisa, same with your wellness business. Who is it that you're really trying to attract? Who is your target market? And then we dug in a little bit deeper with that in our last one that we did last month, really defining your difference. So, okay, there's like there's a million wellness centers out there. There's a million massage studios. There's a million health coaches. Like, what makes you different? And if you can define your difference, that's going to help you drill down deeper into understanding truly who your target market is to be as impactful as you can when you approach them. So now we're kind of completing the circle, talking about marketing on a shoestring budget. So now that you know what your target market is, now that you know your differential advantage, how can you really capitalize on that and be as impactful as you can on a shoestring budget? Now, all of these are recorded. They're on our YouTube channel at My Soma Massage. So if you missed episode 1, 2, or 3, and you want to go back and or refresh on something, you can always go to our My Soma Massage channel on YouTube and see them there. And please feel free to share these resources with your friends too. So here's our goals for today. We're going to talk about free or low cost marketing ideas, right? Shoestring budget. None of us have a lot of money to throw at marketing. We really, we really want to invest in our business, but we're kind of limited in how to do that. So free or low cost marketing ideas that are both online and offline, and some examples of what Soma's doing now. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Some examples that Soma is using currently. I understand it seems like everyone on the call today is really kind of wellness interested, but those of you who are watching this video later, you may be in retail, you may be in the service industry, you may be in tech, whatever it is. So understand that the examples that we're using, that I'm lifting up here in this presentation, may not be entirely relevant to your business, and hopefully it'll spark something that maybe is like adjacent that you can run with, right? So I'm just going to share a couple of examples that we're using. All of these are going to be high impact and low cost, and there will be time at the end for questions. Feel free to type your questions in the chat as well. I'm kind of limited with what I can see on my screen right now, but either Taylor can hop in and answer those questions for you, or we can answer them at the end. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so the first one, social media. Almost 94% of the US population is online, and that number is growing. In 2028, it's going to be closer to 98%. That's a lot. That's hundreds of millions of Americans. So whatever you sell, your potential customers are going to be out there on social media sites, checking your email, Googling your industry. They want to know who you are, what you do, how they can find you, how they can book with you, all that. So it's important to create, and I think everyone here on this call probably has this already, creating business accounts on social media channels. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter are kind of the biggest ones. But you really want to kind of foster your brand engagement and your loyalty through likes, comments, shares, website visits, purchases. You can use it in a number of ways. I mean, you can show, what sales you have coming up, what you can create events. We created a Facebook event for this Zoom call that we're doing now. We'll create events for if we're going to do a First Friday, or we're going to be tabling at an event. We'll create a Facebook event for that, which is we can easily share. But it's also important to make sure that you are having sort of like more of that personal touch through your social media accounts, especially those of you who are small business owners. We've talked about this in previous webinars. People want to shop small because they want to support their friends. They want to feel that connection to you, right? So it's okay to share your triumphs and your challenges and your victories and your questions. And a lot of times those posts get greater engagement. So I just made a post recently. I had a staff meeting on Tuesday, and we invited Denton County Friends of the Family to participate in that, to talk with us on ways that we can help our clients who, unknowing to us, might be domestic violence survivors, how we can empower them to have more control over their massage experience, right? And I posted about this, we talked about consent and boundaries and communications, and it got like a ton of likes and shares, right? Because it was a personal story of something that we're doing. So making sure that you're creating content that isn't just advertising, but is really trying to connect with your followers, that's going to grow brand loyalty and engagement. And so Soma is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Taylor, you'll be happy to know I just created a LinkedIn account. So let's connect with that so we can start putting some content on LinkedIn too. So we are on all the big ones. The next one is email and text lists. So this is, you can email people individually, doesn't cost you any money, but as your business grows, you're going to want to be using more streamlined things such as Constant Contact and MailChimp. Those are kind of the biggest ones, the best known ones. The best ones will also have some sort of texting option typically for an additional cost. That way that your clients can or customers can text the business and not your personal cell phone. And you can also kind of not box, but categorize people into different subsets. So like leads, current clients, past clients, maybe clients who used to come to Soma, but you haven't seen in a number of months. You can categorize them into maybe VIPs or big spenders or teachers or whatever it is. You can put them in different categories, and then you can kind of send out text campaigns or email campaigns specific to that group. Those typically will require an additional sort of like membership cost, but it is an investment worth looking into. We have now, Soma doesn't use Constant Contact or MailChimp. We use something different that we share with our franchisees. I'm not going to share that with you because it's part of our secret sauce, but every time someone calls Soma, we have then a record of that phone number. It follows up with them automatically with an outgoing text saying, even if whether or not we answer the phone, it always follows up. Thank you for calling Soma Massage Therapy. New clients get free aromatherapy. Click here to book your appointment, whatever it is. Because of that, we have tens of thousands of unique phone numbers. We have an email list that people can opt into that's 8 or 9, maybe 10,000 people strong. We're able to send out auto texts. And so this is a really great service that we've been able to use really wisely. And we do share this product with our franchisees. So just know that email and text lists are another great way to advertise. SEO optimization. I'm going to tell you that I don't know a whole lot about SEO optimization, but I know it's something that you can do. So I did want to include it in this presentation. Basically, what it is how well it's search engine optimization. How well does your website perform? And the better that your website performs, the higher it will rank on different search engines like Google and Bing and whatever. And so the more, and it's going to look at things like keyword optimization, making sure that your content includes the right words and phrases that you want to like rank on each of these pages. How well your pages are organized. Is your page mobile friendly? Does it have both text and visual content variety? Is it functional? All these things. And now I did want to include this in here, even though it's not something that I know how to do very well. Some people, especially those of you who are in tech, know how to do this. And so you can do this for free or low cost because you know how to do this, right? Those who don't know how to do this, you can certainly hire an outside company to contract with you and do this. They're not cheap, but if it's something that you really want your page to rank higher, because the first thing you do is you Google wellness coach near me, right? And you want your page to show up at the top. And so it might be worth it to invest some money behind that to help your page rank higher and make sure that you're able to be found easier. Okay. There we go. Online directories and review platforms. The most common are Google and Yelp. I personally think Yelp is very problematic. They have a way of like hiding really quality content, and like they want you to pay to like control your own business page. Like they're another business making money off of my hard work. I don't really like them, but some people really believe in Yelp, and it is a big online directory. So I did want to mention that. Google is another one. You can create a Google business profile at no cost. It's going to have, so when you Google, best massage or massage near me, whatever it is, Soma's going to be right at the top, and it's going to include our address, our phone, our business hours, our website. It allows it allows our clients to be able, or our future clients, to read our reviews, and they can review us themselves. And really work on getting those reviews, y'all, because I mean, we have over 1,200 5-star reviews. That is incredible. I mean, I challenge you to name any other business out there, let alone a small business, that's got 1,200 5-star reviews. Now, we have a way of getting those reviews, again, that we'll share that with our franchisees, but really work hard for those reviews. Follow up with your clients and your customers. Hey, would you mind giving me a 5-star review? They might text you, hey, Jackie, I really loved the coaching session you gave me today. That I really feel like I'm so much more empowered to take control out of my health. That's great. I love that they told you that. Now tell the world. How do you get on Google and have them write that same review? So when people are looking for that health and wellness coach, they read these reviews and they see the testimonials from your clients that you've coached along the years, and they think about hiring you as well. So there's like touch pads and there's QR codes and there's whatever. And we have a pretty streamlined and sophisticated system to get those reviews for us, but just know that that's another great way. I did want to put the Best of Denton logo on here too, that is some going back to online directories. That is it's obviously very specific to Denton, but that's another online directory. It's not just Google and Yelp and like online yellow pages, right? It's also contests like the Best of Denton contest. We have won the Best of Denton contest every single year since we've opened. Every year we've been best massage. The last number of years we've been best pain management. Last year I was named best boss, like it's like, and so when people maybe new to town, want to know where's the best patio, where's the best happy hour, who's the best pediatrician, where do I go for a massage? They're going to see that Soma Massage Therapy has been named #1 for massage. So, so try and get into these like hyper local directories. If you're nominated for it, you maybe spend the advertising dollars on making sure that you can amplify that nomination so that you can get bumped to the top. So that's another one. Okay. Events. We do a lot of events at Soma. We don't have, my business is not the type of business that like we don't have like a new like spring line of fashion. We don't have a new like summer latte. We don't have a poetry reading, an open mic, live music. We don't have things that like will naturally and organically bring people to us unless they already have that massage scheduled. But when we have things like an event, such as like a First Friday or the Mimosa Hop or the Margarita Mosey or whatever it is, the Shamrock Shuffle, things that will like partner with Denton Main Street Association, that will organically bring people in. And a lot of times people are like, oh, I've heard such great things about this place. This is nice to see it. And they can kind of start trying it on in their head, right? So maybe hosting an event that and it can be a small thing. I know a lot of you are like really small solopreneurs, just a customer appreciation day. Maybe you just want to do like a free sound bath afternoon with some juice afterwards. Like people will come to you, right? Bring a friend for, a chance to get a $25 in-store gift certificate, something like that, whatever it is, but thinking of ways that you can bring people to you, but then also thinking about ways that you can bring your business out into the community. So some ways that we do that is, one, these webinars are great. It will live forever on the internet. And this is my outreach to the community. Now I'm talking specifically to fellow entrepreneurs, maybe future franchisees, but it still gets eyes on my business. We also do self-care seminars. So I've done this with a number of places at Denton Public Library, UNT. I've done it with the Rotarians. I've done it with a couple of small businesses in the area, where I come in and anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, and we talk about ways that you can care for yourself just while sitting at your desk. You don't need a gym membership to relieve that stress. Let me show you ways that you can unlock your jaw, deepen your breath, release that tension, headache, just literally sitting at your desk. So I'll do these self-care seminars and I'll go out to the community. We'll also table or have a booth at different events. The North Texas Roller Derby team, like we're a corporate sponsor. We freaking love them. They're baddies, and like we totally want to support baddies like that. So we're a corporate sponsor for North Texas Roller Derby. This is a picture of Taylor and I at Twilight Tunes earlier this season. We didn't sell anything. All we did is we sponsored this event for the city of Denton. There were hundreds of people there. They had their eyes on us. We wore our branded t-shirts, and I didn't sell anything at this table. We just had some refreshing spa water. I think we had maybe cucumber mint. I think it was mint from my garden. We had these tennis balls you can see in that basket there that we gave to people as part of, and along with a card on showing them how to use the tennis ball for self-massage. We collected their information for those who wanted to be entered into a drawing for a free massage. So now we have more people on our email list, right? Things like this. So how are there ways that you can maybe partner with an event that's already happening? Sometimes it's a very small or no cost vendor fee. Sometimes it's more expensive, $500. That was an expense that, it's not cheap for my business, but it was also a lot of impact, right? So that's another option. Collaborate, 100% collaborate with other small businesses. So some of the things that Soma has done in the past is we've had, we used to have a boutique right next door. God, I miss her, my whole closet. Oh my God, I think my husband's glad that she moved because I spent a lot of money there, but had this really great boutique right next to Soma. And then we also had Salted Sanctuary was down on the end. And for a while, the three of our businesses had this shop local coupon. So if you spent like X number of dollars at like Salted Sanctuary, you'd get like 10% off at Demure Styles, or you'd get like free aromatherapy at Soma. And if you like bought like a 90-minute massage or a 6-pack or whatever, you'd get like, you know, perks at these other businesses. And it was really nice because we could kind of collaborate with each other and make sure that all of our businesses are succeeding, because a rising tide lifts all ships and we want everyone in our community to succeed. I don't want, I think a lot of people think that the business world is really cutthroat, but it's actually really collaborative, because if we're all succeeding, we're all succeeding. So find a way that you can collaborate with your local businesses. We partner with the Spinal Decompression and Chiropractic Center. They are so good, by the way, about collaborating with other businesses and uplifting other businesses. Follow their social media page because they're doing a really great job at this. But we partner with them so in a couple of ways. One, we have like a combo gift certificate. That if you purchase this gift certificate, you'll get a 1-hour massage at Soma, and you'll also get a complete, a comprehensive chiropractic exam from Dr. Boyer at the Spinal Decompression and Chiropractic Center. That's one of the things that we do. So we have a gift certificate that like works with both businesses. We also have a satellite studio located there. We have their business cards at our front desk because, you know, we can do soft tissue manipulation, but we can't do an adjustment, right? And sometimes you really need your back cracked, or maybe you might need some decompression to really address the underlying issues of that pain. And so we collaborate with them. We also have an ongoing donation box with Interfaith Ministries. People can bring in their menstrual products to donate, and then Interfaith Ministries will pick those up. This keeps Interfaith Ministries on other people's radars when they're thinking about who to donate to in the future. And it also keeps us on the radar of people who support Interfaith Ministries because they know that we have this ongoing partnership. We also have kind of a rotating what we call Massage for a Cause partnership. We've had this for well over a decade. And in this, we ask people to bring in not like a monetary donation, but more like actual supplies, like backpacks for back to school, or canned goods if we're doing something for a food pantry. Recently, we just worked with the animal shelter and we collected like, you know, old linens and dog food and whatnot, and just asking people to bring in donations for that. And again, that keeps Soma on the radar of anyone who supports the animal shelter, right? And it also puts the animal shelter on the people on the eyes of people who come to Soma, and it gets them thinking about ways that they can continue to support the community. We have this really holistic approach here at Soma Massage Therapy. We believe that if we want our clients to be healthy and thriving, they need to live in a healthy and thriving community. And we do that by making sure that our community is strong and supported through these initiatives like Interfaith Ministries and Massage for a Cause. It's going to benefit everybody. Networking, very obviously, we're all in business. Networking is great. Definitely join your Chamber of Commerce, 100% join your Chamber of Commerce. The Denton Chamber is doing a really great job kind of tweaking their membership level. So if you are a new startup or you're a really small business, you don't have to pay as much as Peterbilt does, right? They do a really great job. They want their resources and their events to be as accessible to as many people in the business community as possible. So join your local Chamber of Commerce. There's always going to be a great event. That is how I learned. I mean, I joined the Chamber of Commerce like right before COVID. And it honestly, the timing could not have been better. Because I was a member of the chamber, I got information on grants. I was able to sit in on Zoom panels to hear what other people were doing to keep their businesses going. Fantastic resource. You can also join organizations like Rotaries or Kiwanis, something like that, a service organization that's going to get you as a CEO and owner and entrepreneur out into the community, seeing the need in your community, how you can meet the needs in that community. You're also meeting other business owners and community leaders, pillars of the community who join organizations like that. That's going to keep your business top of mind. And then they're going to come there and they're going to send their friends there as well. Networking events and conventions obviously are going to introduce you to mutually beneficial partnerships. And don't just think about things that are adjacent to you. So I'm in massage. Maybe I want to partner with someone who does chiropractic and yoga and wellness. But, you know, I'll go to these networking events and I'll meet someone who, like, maybe they're a contractor. And obviously they're, you know, they're a high impact, and maybe one of their employees gets hurt on the job. might be nice to send them to Soma. We can kind of alleviate some of the muscle tension in their low back. And then when our sink breaks or we need a wall painted, we've got a contractor that we know that we've networked with. And so just make sure that you always bring business cards to these events and network so hard and just meet everyone that you can, work that room like you're the mayor, and have a killer elevator pitch, whether it's 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. You just try and have different lengths of elevator pitches so you can always tell quickly who you are, where you work, what you do, what your differential advantage is, why they want to come see you. Like, just nail that down, practice that on your way to that morning coffee at that networking event. Two more things. We're going to wrap it up pretty quickly. Referral bonuses and perks. Word of mouth advertising is very free, very, very free to do that sort of thing. And it is the best type of advertising you can get. Here at Soma, we offer $10 off when you send a friend to us. We have a place on our intake form where you can say, like, how did you hear of us? And if they just say a friend, well, it doesn't help us. But if they say, the first name, last name referred me to you, then we get on your account and we'll add a $10 credit that you can use at a future appointment because thank you for helping us get the word out. We also have a franchise referral program. So again, I've mentioned previously in other webinars and in this webinar, we are actively franchising coast to coast. So we'd love to have you as a franchisee, but if it's not right for you and you know someone that this might be a really great opportunity for them, send them our way, introduce us to them, introduce them to us. And if they become a Soma franchisee in the future, we'll gladly give you either $1,000 cash or free massages for a whole year as our way to say thank you. So think about what sort of like referral bonuses and perks you can offer to people to make it worth their while to really spread the news. And then lastly, invest in your community. Donate anytime anyone asks, especially those nonprofits. Again, if you want to have healthy and thriving clients and customers, we need to have a healthy and thriving community. So if the United Way or Denton County Friends of the Family or Serve Denton or whatever it is, if they come to you and they say, hey, we've got this upcoming gala or we've got this golf tournament, whatever it is, would you consider donating a basket of your goods or a gift certificate? Yes, 100%. I will do that. Absolutely. It's a great way to get your name out into the community and to get new clients and customers to come to you. If you've got $500, don't spend it on Google ads. Google doesn't need your money. Google does not need your money. You know who does? The PTA. Buy coffee for the teachers. Buy a table at the next Greater Denton Arts Council fundraising gala. Get your name out there into the community and show appreciation for your community. If you want your community to take care of you, you got to take care of them. You got $500, don't spend it on a Google ad. They don't need your money. Public schools do. So give it to the PTA and buy some coffee for some teachers. Put your name on a couple of business cards or get some branded coffee cups, whatever it is you want to do. Buy some coffee for some teachers. Soma is, we try really hard to sponsor as many events as we possibly can afford. This picture is me and my son at the coffin races last year at Day of the Dead. That's me, the short one on the right, and that's Max on the left there. We dressed up as ZZ Top. It was very cool and very hot and very itchy. But we made sure we had our banners there posted along the racetrack for the coffin races, and we're planning on sponsoring it again. If there's a 5K, if there's Pride Denton is having their events. We gave them some money this month as well to help promote their sponsoring or their programming. So invest in your community and make sure that anywhere you go, bring business cards, wear a name tag, invite team members or local celebrities, local electeds, local officials to kind of show that your business really is impactful and is at the top of mind of even like the big thinkers in your community. So definitely invest in your community. I did want to mention again that we have franchise opportunities. If you're on this call and you're interested in learning more, we do have a discovery call happening next week. Let me know if you want some more information on that. I'll be happy to send that to you. You just go to mysomamassage.com/franchise. And again, if it's for you, that's great. We'd love to work with you and help you grow your business to be just as successful as Soma's is. And if it's not for you, but you know someone for whom this would be a good fit, we're offering $1,000 cash or a year of free massages. So let people know. Again, you can find information at mysomamassage.com/franchise. Next time. Okay. I've been trying to do these on the first Friday of the month, but it's also summer vacation. So there's nothing happening in July. I will think I'm going to be in Wisconsin that particular week, and I'll be traveling quite a bit in July. And in August, I will have just gotten back from vacation, and unfortunately, I have to get some oral surgery taken care of. So I'm not going to be able to do it on the first Friday of August. So our next one is going to be on the second Friday in August, Friday, August 8th at 12 o'clock Central. I really want to dig into like a values-based business, right? What's your North Star? I've been thinking a lot about like Target and Tesla and Bud Light, right? And like they had kind of their target market and then they went off script and everyone got really mad. And I've been thinking a lot about like how important it is to have really clear values as a business, and making sure your values align with your customers' values, right? That's going to help. We talked about that in your differential advantage and in your target market webinars that we did. So really kind of want to dig into that a little bit more. Like, what is your North Star as a business? How do you communicate that to the greater community? But I also want to talk about sometimes some of the risks that can come with that when you go off script with some of those values. So I think it's going to be really kind of interesting conversation, and I'm glad I have like 6 weeks to think about it because I think it's going to be pretty fascinating. I really want to dig in deep. So what is your North Star, and building a values-based business? This is our contact information. This is how you can reach me. You can reach my team. I'm gonna leave this up here and I'm gonna extend my screen. And I would love to hear if you want to take yourself off of mute or type in the chat any questions you might have. We've got some more time.
Amber, thank you so much for this presentation. It's really incredible. I'm always so impressed every time I hear you speak. I'm like,
Really?
he's so good.
Thank you so much. For real. Thank you. That means a lot because you're really good at your job. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I had one question.
Yeah.
So business cards, have you ever considered a different type of business card, or you stick with paper and you always will?
Yeah, I have a couple of business cards. So I have my paper ones because it's really easy at the front desk to write down any information, your next appointment, or the essential oils we use, or the therapist that you had, or just like homework, whatever it is. And when you go to things like the chamber, like Wake Up Wednesday, like any chamber event, they always want you to drop your business card in there so you can win that door prize. So I always bring a business card to that. But I do also have on my phone, there's lots of different like electronic apps for electronic business cards. I use Hi Hello. There's a ton of other ones. And on Hi Hello, I can have one for both for Soma, for me as a franchisor. And I also have, I do a lot of public advocacy around LGBTQ issues. And so I also have one that's just me personally, like the tagline is like, I'm that mom from Texas that you met at that thing. So there are, because sometimes you don't have your business card on you and you do make a great connection with someone. So I don't recommend one app over another, but there's lots of different electronic ones that you can use. Yeah, that's a good question.
Another question.
Yes, go for it.
What would you say for Soma? What's kind of your the biggest referral source that you have? Because you talked about so many different places that you guys get those new clients, but do you have like your number one place where you can?
Yeah. Early on, it was strictly word of mouth because my website was brand new, and maybe I didn't have a website because I was just, working as a, solopreneur. Um, early on, it was word of mouth. Now I gotta say it's Google. When I have the opportunity to work the front desk and people will come in and they're new clients, I'll say, oh, hand in their intake form and I'm welcoming them. The bathroom's all the way down on the left. Can I get you a glass of water? This and that. How'd you hear about us? They're like, I just Googled you. You came highly, highly recommended. I saw your 1,200 Google reviews, right? That's a big thing, those Google reviews. Gift certificates, our current clients that purchase a gift certificate to give to someone else brings people in. And again, like when we can make a donation, we always donate a gift certificate. That brings people in. But I would say now our number one is probably just being having a bazillion Google reviews and having a page that ranks so high on Google. That's what works for my business. But for smaller businesses, it might just be word of mouth or having doing chair massage at an event to build your email list. It kind of varies from business to business.
Which I know you also have done your share
I've
of
done a
chair
lot.
massages.
Many,
That's
many,
how you
many
and I
free chair
met.
massages. Yes, many. Renee, you raised your hand. You got a question?
Yeah, well, kind of comments. This has been very helpful because all the people that talk about marketing and stuff, you're here locally and you're in the massage industry. So that kind of reinforces a lot of the stuff that I'm already doing or want to do, but I've got to get to the point where I've got $500 to share with,
Mhm.
all of that.
Mhm.
So I'm working on it. My best source of new clients right now is the networking. I do a lot of networking in the mental health field arena.
Great.
I will travel to go meet with other counselors and mental health professionals who are curious about what I do because I am a fantastic resource for their clients.
Yeah.
I also wanted to let you know, I put it in the chat, that I know someone who teaches a class specifically for massage therapists and body workers
Mhm.
working with domestic violence survivors. So
Oh,
if you are working with Denton County Friends of the Family, fantastic organization, I want you to take advantage of that class, get as many of your therapists to take that class. It's
mhm.
online. Her name is Gloria Matheson. I can send you all the info.
Yeah, please email that
Um,
information to me. I'd love to look into that. Yeah.
but she's like, she can make classes specifically for a group like yours. Like if you
Awesome.
just get all of your therapists together and say, this is kind of required. She's also got classes for like just generally working with trauma survivors with
Mhm.
PTSD. And please register for this. Get your people registered for this. I asked her when she did the domestic violence one, I asked her, can you please do create a class on working with trafficking survivors?
Mhm.
And she created it. But when last time she had it scheduled, which would have been the first time she had it scheduled, not enough people signed up for it.
Well,
So I'm like, it's,
yeah, please send that information my way. I think we'd really benefit from that. We just,
yeah.
especially if she's got video courses, that's something I can kind of roll out with my team every time we add a new person, as an employee. So
It's
yeah,
actually
please. Yeah, that would be
interactive.
great.
It's actually interactive. She does it over Zoom.
Fantastic.
Um,
I love it. Thank you.
so I'll send you the info. Yeah,
That'd be great. Thank you.
sure.
All right. I was going to say I have one more question for you, but you should probably go to the person.
Yeah, go ahead. That's my mom. Go ahead,
Oh,
Ma.
I love it.
What's your question?
Hi, Amber's mom. You must be so proud. My
Hi,
last
hi.
question
No,
is,
hold on, Chili. Hold on one second. Let's go. Let's go to the matriarch first, because everything I learned from
Oh,
her. So go ahead, Ma. What's up?
no, my question is, how do all the healing therapies reach out to veterans? How do you
How do
reach
they
out
reach
to
out
vets?
to veterans? That's a
Yeah.
good question. That's not one of the areas that we've really focused on. Our outreach has really been more just to the broader community, but I know that we work really close. We really try to bring in LGBTQ clients, especially because we worked really hard to make Soma a safe and accepting space for them, and it's not always that way in every industry, especially massage. With veterans, now, our props to Taylor, our events and social media director. She had this great idea for Memorial Day to nominate a hometown hero. And we selected Taylor. Can you please type her name in? Colonel Gretchen. I forget her last name, but she's amazing. A huge hero, a huge patriot. And I thought it was a really great way to amplify her story and to reach out to the veteran population. And I want us to do more of this, but it's not something that we have really focused on because they're not, in our previous webinars, we've talked about, your target market. And while we certainly welcome veterans, that hasn't been sort of like our bread and butter over the years. And so it's not an area I admit that we put a lot of attention into. And it's certainly Sergeant Major Gretchen Evans is in the Command Sergeant Major Gretchen Evans. She's in the chat. So Google her name. She's amazing.
Oh,
We definitely welcome veterans, but I admit it's not an area that we've really focused a lot of our energy on. Do you have ideas on that though? I'm totally open to that.
well, what if all you folks did a collaboration for like a wellness day?
Mm-hmm.
You know, put together. I mean, I think about Nisa and Jackie and you and who was the therapist just on, and I'm
Mhm.
sure there's other people in the community, and we could do a collaboration of like an event on an afternoon or
I
something,
think
and
that's a great idea.
people who come in and just, I mean, experience the singing bowls at some point in time. There could be demonstrations, and
Yeah.
you know, everybody's got something to contribute and collaborate on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of the community probably doesn't know about
I think that's a
all
great
of
idea.
these
I
wonderful
see Chili writing
therapies.
things down. So Chili, let's work on something like
Yeah.
that. We've got a lot of important holidays coming up this fall. Maybe we could collaborate and put something together.
I have
Yeah.
been taking little notes here and
I love
there.
it.
I know that at SDCC we would definitely be
Yeah.
interested in that. A lot
Yeah.
of we have a lot of veterans that come into our clinic
Mhm.
who are needing care, and
Mhm.
because that's one of our, you mentioned that the last webinar you did was on target demographics, and for sure
Mhm.
one of our target demographics
Yeah.
are people who have it, who are we have our older clients who have been through trauma, and especially we've got a lot of men that have come in that have fought in wars, have been through battle, and
Mhm.
literally not just in their lives, but have served our country and
Yeah.
need care. And
Yeah.
it's a very difficult to. My dad is a veteran, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely with that. I know SCCC would be totally interested in that. So
Yeah.
that's a great
100%.
idea.
Yeah. I love it.
And
Great idea.
do you make referrals, Chili, to like you working with these vets? Do you make a referral, like, you know, maybe some meditation and, you know, some of the things that Nisa brings, or, you know, maybe some massage therapy would good for
Mhm.
you, or maybe some
Yeah.
decompression, or, you know, to refer each other back and forth for some of these, you know, if you get to know these people, you can kind of feel
Mhm.
in their body and spirit, you know, the additional
Mhm.
healing therapies that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. What I really love is that we have Soma as part of our clinic, and that has been an incredible collaboration. Amber, I actually just did
Yeah.
all the tallying for literally counted by hand to make sure where our referral sources are from. And Soma is our number one referral source when it comes to other providers.
I
Yeah.
love that.
You're
I love
big on
Okay.
that.
word of mouth and you're
Good.
big on Google as well,
Yeah.
but the next one up is you guys. So
I
we
love
are
that.
so
Oh, that's
grateful.
I love
wonderful.
that.
So
Good.
That's
for
great.
Good.
your
That's
mama
great.
asking about it, like what I love about that kind of collaboration, we also have a hypnotherapist, the Calming Center, that's a part of
Mhm.
our clinic.
Ah,
So we're able to
yeah.
refer veterans or every single client that we have to
Mhm.
different
Good.
sources, even within our clinic. But
Yeah.
outside of that,
Yeah,
it's
Dr. B is
almost
really good about that, referring out to making sure that your patients are really getting the appropriate care, whatever it is, whether it's
Oh, good.
physical or
Yeah.
mental or even spiritual. Like he's very good about making those referrals. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Which I will do a little plug for the Denton Area Wellness Coalition. I know Jackie was at our last meeting, and Amber, you were at the meeting before. If for anyone who wants to have more networking opportunities, more opportunities to collaborate, even I'm sorry, Amber, I don't know what your mom's name is. What's your name?
It's
Hey,
Barb.
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 Or Empress is good too.
Yeah. Empress also works.
I love it. Empress, it is such an honor to meet you, and I'm amazed at the humans you've created. But I feel like part of what you're talking about, even with veterans, is a lot what the Denton Area Wellness Coalition is passionate about, which is how can we collaborate to take care of the whole person?
Mhm.
And so for
Yes.
anyone looking for another networking opportunity or collaboration opportunity, I definitely recommend shoot me. I'll put my little
Yeah, Chili, will you
Always
put,
helps
I know, I
me.
don't think we have y'all don't have a website yet, but I think there is a Facebook page maybe. or
You and I
something.
talked about it,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
I
yeah.
will put my email address for anyone who's interested, but when I think about veterans, I think about, all healthcare providers working together for the whole person who needs healing in so many different
Mhm.
ways. So
Yeah.
I love that suggestion. I put my email address for anyone who's interested
Chili.
in the little chat. I'll also put my number, except for I don't even know what it is because I don't call myself.
You don't call yourself.
Um, but I will plug in my last little question for a
Yeah.
practical thing and maybe
Yes.
stop monopolizing the conversation after that. But I have a practical question, which is, I love talking to people, but the follow-up is not always my strong suit. Do you have any tricks or tips for like how you make sure that you keep yourself accountable for following up with the connections that you make?
We're so big. I admit we could do a better job with this. But I mean, we see over 1,000 clients a month. And a lot of them are new. So it is a lot of it's a lot of staff time to follow up with the newbies.
Well,
However,
sorry, just to make sure, because I definitely want to hear this part of the answer, but specifically to like when you're making a business connection or a referral for new patients, new clients, um, anything like that where you're out networking or whatever, like how do you, but particularly on the business side, because you mentioned giving out those business cards, following up, and I'm
yeah.
like,
Okay. So how do I follow up when I make a business
how
connection?
do you hold yourself accountable to follow up
I have
and not lose track
I
of
have,
people?
I wish you could see all of the whiteboards that I have and checklists I have surrounding me in my office. I'm like the queen of lists. So I'll collect business cards and I'll follow up, ideally the same day, but within a couple of days. And I have like, hey, Joe, it was nice to meet you at insert event here. A little more, I loved hearing about insert conversation here. Here are the 3 things I want you to know about Soma. Let me know if you want to get together for coffee. And then I do follow up and they're like, yeah, coffee sounds great. So that's what I do. So I just keep a list of business cards. I have 5 million lists. I've got my goals for the next 6 months. I've got my 3-month whiteboard calendars. I have additional goals here. I've got a bulletin board. I've got a checklist. So I just have a lot of lists and I just write it all down and I don't stop until they're all checked off and they never are. So they just keep running. Is that the answer you were? Okay, great. I do. I just follow up because I know if I don't, it doesn't happen. So I can't say it's not like I hold myself accountable. I just make sure it gets done. I guess it's the same thing. So just make sure it gets done. Yeah. Any other questions?
Hi. So interestingly, I just literally just got a Facebook message from someone that I met at a networking group that I
Yay!
was invited to by someone that I met at it. It grows, and then I end up with third and fourth generation introductions. And this person reached out to me and invited me to their event, and I've had somebody else who just you know. So yes, the follow up is so important, and I have a stack of cards of people that I need to follow up with
Mm-hmm.
that keeps getting shuffled from pillar to post. And I keep
Mm-hmm.
forgetting, I need to set aside some time and just
Well, and I think Renee,
fill out all the emails.
if you have sort of like a template that you can use too, and obviously personalize it. You want to make it personal. But if
Yeah.
you can have a template, hey Renee, it was so nice to meet you at insert event. I loved hearing about the conversation we had. Here are the 3 things I want you to know about Soma. I'd love to follow up. Like, if you can have some sort of template, it's going to make it a lot easier. You can still customize it. Go back and reread it before you send it so you don't accidentally have Chili's name in there when it's supposed to say Renee, right? You want to make it
And I'm
personal.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe having a template, and you got to keep it short because people are busy, but include links if you have them, whatever. Always offer to, follow up with a cup of coffee or lunch or whatever it is. Collaborate, network. Yeah, but yeah, maybe having a template might help.
That's an
Yeah.
amazing tip. I love it.
Yeah.
Amber, I've got to hop onto another meeting now,
No
but
worries.
so much
I'm going to
great
go to the
seeing all of
gym.
you.
It's all good.
Love it. Well, thank you so very much. And I'm going to remember that template idea. That's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
All of y'all, my name, number, and email is in the chat. And then I've gotten a couple in a private chat as well, a couple of contacts that I'll be reaching
Awesome.
out to. Y'all hold me accountable to follow up.
You will. You're very
If you
good
see
at
me,
that.
you'll be like, Chili, remember you said you were going to text me. What happened to that?
Very good at that.
I'm working on it's that I don't do it as fast as I want to do it, you know. It's like I want the turnaround time to be faster, but
Yeah.
then getting things prioritized is always tricky.
It's just, yeah.
But thank you so much for the
Butterfly time.
time.
Yeah,
I
absolutely. I'm
appreciate
going
it
to
all.
stop the recording, but I'm happy to stay on a little bit longer. But
Great to
again,
meet
you can
guys.
continue watch the repeat on YouTube and share the link with your friends. So thanks for
Love it.
coming.
Thanks.
Yeah.